Welcome to the new episode of Secrets of Trading, everyone. So today we have Sacha from FXDawgz. How's it going, Sacha?
I'm doing amazing. What about you?
We're doing great. We're doing great. So we have been going back and forth on pretty much this episode, right? And it's finally great to see you here. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to get a lot of information out of this specific episode. So, the basic question that we ask everybody is, so who is Sacha, and like, how did you get to this point? So how did you get into trading, and what did you kind of do before this that led you to trading?
Sure. So who's Sasha? Nothing special with me. Just a regular dude, 40 years old, out from Montreal. But I did a lot of hustle before, I did a lot of hustle before. I did a lot of MLM. Okay. So for people that have been following me for a little while, they know, but for the new people, I've been doing a lot of MLM in my previous life. For people that doesn't know what's MLM, it's a multi-level marketing, or direct sales if you want. So I had a lot of success with that, made some pretty good money, used that money and had the different businesses before. I touched, oh boy, give me one sec, my robot just go on. Sorry about that, guys. Let me just turn it off. Do apologize about that. When you have 4 dogs, let me tell you, you need those robots. Okay. So sorry about that. So yeah, so basically, so I did some good money with MLM and invested in different businesses or open up different businesses. I had pretty good success with that. Some of them actually failed, was a total failure, but that's how it is. When you start a business, I mean, you work hard, some of them goes up, some of them goes down. It's like trading.
Right.
It's like trading. There's two. You're either gonna win, you're either gonna lose. That's a two option. So basically, I've been dabbling into different businesses. And my last one, I actually sold it in December 2017, which was an insurance business. I had we were 3 partners, and I sold my share to my two other partners. To move with the company, which it's called Kenny Source. They actually manufacture high-end dog and cat food. And for me, the reason why I did that is because it was dogs is part of my passion. Because I mean, you can tell by the brand of the academy, right? And for me, it was like working within my passion. And there's a saying said that if you work within your passion, you will not have to work another day of your life. So for me, it was an easy move. Yes, people said I was stupid and crazy because I mean those shares today is worth like so much more because they're killing it out there, right? But my mental will not be able to be there for an extra 3 years or 5 years. I was done. I was like, I mean, insurance is fun, but it's also super negative at the same time. When someone calls you for insurance, it's rarely to tell you that, hey, I love you, you're good. No, it's mostly like something's not going good. So
Right.
it's really heavy, it's really a heavy pressure, heavy emotions. So I was really tired and I was due for something else. So basically that's why I did that move. And during that move, I went on Facebook and I saw a couple of videos. Since I'm doing MLM, of course, I saw some super amazing, not amazing IML video. And I never did IML, but it piqued my curiosity. So I was like, what is that Forex thing? So I was like, all right, so let me investigate on this. And I started to investigate and did some research. I kind of like it. Didn't pursue it because I was super busy. A couple months after that, I decided to really, really get into it. So I started, of course, with babypips.com, like probably most of the people. And after that, I found my first course that was with Ryan Gilpin. My life real quick. I think there's a lot of people who probably got started with him because I mean, it was probably the cheapest course out there. It was like something like $200 or $300. Actually, it was pretty good. It got me to learn the basics. It got me to learn the quarter points theory, those kind of stuff. So which was pretty cool. And after that, I wanted more. So bounce back and forth with different mentors, right? So either Q Banks, Savage, and lately Raja was one of the last one. Well, actually, this is something new. We're going to talk about that, but I'm touching some different stuff now. But yeah, so I've been trading mostly like scalping intraday for the past like 2 years and a half ish, like same time as Stefano. I'm really bad with timing, to be honest, but Stefanos, when were we in Raj's course? Was like 2 years and a half or 2 years?
It's got to be 2.5 years ago.
Oh yeah, okay. There we go. So around that time. So after that, I only focused on scalping and trading. It was fitting my lifestyle at that moment. It was great. I was able to grab like 10, 15, 20 pips quickly and get out of the market and go back to work. But now there's different stuff going around. So we might touch that later on. But yeah, so basically that's how I got mainly introduced into Forex, that's what I did. And right now I'm still, a lot of people still surprised when I say that, but I still work every day, right? I still work every day. And people's like, why, why are you working, man? I mean, you're doing amazing on your trade. It's like, yes, if I want, I can stop tomorrow, but I really enjoy what I'm doing, I really enjoy what I'm doing. And prior to this recording, we were talking about like cruising and, I prefer cruise because there's always something to do. I'm a hyperactive dude. So, I mean, if I only trade and I trade between like 6 a.m. to 9, what the hell am I going to do after that? Just like I got to find some project, do something. And if I don't, I'm going to be sitting in front of that chart all day long and trying to scalp the market all day long, which is really bad, and you don't want to do that. So for me, working is perfect. I love it. I enjoy what I'm doing. I'm having fun. It's part of my passion. I work with my dogs every single day. I mean, what else can I ask? So yeah, so I'm having fun with that. So I'm able to for any trader looking at this or wants to be a trader and they say, oh man, I cannot trade because I have a job, because I have a full-time job or this and that. Let me tell you, I mean, you can do it. You can do it easily. You just gotta put your schedule and be firm about it. And yeah, you can do it easily.
Is Sacha, what's your favorite part about Forex and trading in general? Like, what do you like about it so much?
I like I don't know, man. It's crazy. It's like I like the lifestyle that it gets you, because if I want, I can choose to stop working. So I have that option, So I like the fact that I have that option, and you have a lot of times you can do whatever you want, but I choose to still working because I like it. I'm really passionate about it, but I like the fact that I have the option. So the day that I'm not having fun anymore and I don't have any more challenge, I just can turn that switch off and do something else and do another project, right? So I like the fact that I can have the option, but like when I'm trading, I think it's I don't know, it's kind of weird to say, but the kind of adrenaline rush that when I don't know if you can call that adrenaline. It's not really an adrenaline rush, but that feeling when you get into a trade, you're like, all right, I'm going to murder that market, just like, I don't know. It's just that feeling, it's just like, I love it. Yeah. And I like the fact that I get to know like what's going on around the world. I like that part, I like the part that I get to educate myself about like what's going on out there, and like what's going on in Australia, why AUD is down or up, or why this bears up and down. It's because this happened. Oh, okay, let me investigate on that. I love learning. I'm really passionate about learning. I never stop learning. I that's something I always tell to people: do not stop investing in yourself. Always invest in you. I just took another course like a couple of weeks ago. And a lot of people who actually have courses or do mentorship or do something like that will be super shy to say that or will never say it. I don't give a crap, I don't give a crap. I'll say out loud, I took it, and the reason why it's because I wanted to learn more about swing trade, and I actually sucked at swing trade, so I was like, why not going to see someone that is better than me doing swing trade and learning from him. It's like golf, baseball, any sports you want to do, I think you do jujitsu, karate.
I do karate, yeah.
Karate. I will not fuck around with you, girl. I saw you. You're okay. So anyway, but yeah, I mean, if you want to be better at karate, I mean, you're going to see someone that's better than you, right?
Right.
So same concept, right? It's the same concept. So swing trade, I was doing okay, but to be honest, I thought I sucked at it, just like I was missing some little things there and there. And now I went to see someone, and it's Alex. Shout out to him. And he helped me a lot. And now, I mean, I'm actually running pretty good right now. So, I mean, yeah.
I think it's the same thing with like businesses too, right? Where you start off a business, but then you also need someone after a certain point where you're like, well, I've hit like this ceiling, right? And I need to like break past it, or this plateau. And so you bring in like a consultant, like that's what the consultants are for, right? And then also mentors, or whoever you want to call them, like coaches, they come in, they kind of help you out, and they kind of figure out like what's going wrong in your business and then how to make it even better. So I think, exactly what you said, like you always have to invest in yourself. I mean, I just got like a coach for one of my businesses too, right, to kind of break past it. So I think, yeah, it is very important, regardless of what stage that you're in, to always bring in additional help and always invest in yourself. I think that's very key. A question that I want to ask you was, before you got into Forex, did you ever have any exposure to any other financial markets? Like a lot of people started off with stocks, myself included. Is that something what you dabbled into?
Yeah, never got into stocks, never got into anything actually. Yeah, that was my first exposure to financial market. I knew a little bit about stocks, there and there you hear stuff, but I never read about it. I never educated myself about it. So that was my first exposure. So I was like a green. I was like, feed me info, just like,
Right.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about it.
Okay. So this is like pretty much the first financial market that you stepped into, and you're like, all right, this is it. Like, this is what I want to be in. And, this is what I'm going to progress in.
Yeah. Maybe there's something better out there. I don't know.
Right.
But
That's awesome.
yeah.
And then, so the following question that I want to ask you, you were mentioning like how, you went through like the MLMs and even IML, for example. And then, how did FXDawgz come about to be?
Okay. So, So the reason why I actually did start FXDawgz Academy, it's because while back, I mean, I had a lot of requests because my first language is French. You probably knew it with the accent, right? So, but my first language is French, and I had a lot of requests about something in French because there's nothing out there in French. I mean, there's some, but not a lot, especially not on price action, scalping, intraday. There's not much about it,
Right.
So I had a lot of requests. I was doing some stream on YouTube. When Raja was gone on vacation, I did some stream, and a lot of people kind of I think appreciated the way I was doing it, and I got a lot of requests for French. And after that, I have a lot of requests in English also. So I was like, all right. So it was not my plan, to be honest, and I don't need that. Let me tell you, I'm enough busy. But I was like, and I always like doing MLM. The part that I liked about MLM was actually doing training on stage, training people on how to do it, this and that. That was my favorite part. I always loved teaching, and I think it's something easy for me. It's something easy for me to teach something. I'm not gonna say I'm the best trader out there, but I think there's a difference between the best trader and someone that's able to teach something, because you can be the best trader out there and you can suck at teaching, So I mean, it's like I refer that to sports. If you look at sport, the best coach out there, let's say we take hockey, okay? Because of course I'm from Montreal, right? But if you take hockey, I mean, the best coach out there is not necessarily the guy who won like 10 Stanley Cups, but he's the guy who understands the game and how to play it and able to teach it. So that's the main thing. And I had a lot of requests about it, so I decided to do it. I was like, all right, so I'm gonna do it. What I did is I merged two passion. So I put the FX and I put the dog, and the dogs, the way it's written, it's because I also have a fly ball team, which is I do competition with my dogs, and that fly ball team is called Crazy Dogs.
Oh,
DAWGZ. So I stick with it. So I merged the two passion together, and FXDawgz Academy got born. Is
that's
born, right?
awesome. That's
Yeah. So
awesome.
that's how it happened.
Yeah. And I think what you said like about the teaching part, just to elaborate on that a little bit more. What like I've always learned from, anyone that I've worked with, whether it's like professors, teachers, or instructors, for example, the best way for us to learn it is again if you can teach it well. That's the only way that you know that you have learned it 100%. But also like in my experience, and Stefanos and I talk about it all the time, like in our experience, when we're going through our mentorship programs, for example, and we're talking to people and we're trying to teach them, like, everyone's coming from different backgrounds, everyone sees the markets differently. So I want to kind of get your take on it. But what we talk about often is that even every day we're like learning something new, like how to teach something even better, or like maybe a new perspective on the charts. And like, okay, I didn't think about it like that, but what you just said makes sense, right? So is that something that your experience has been like as well with FXDawgz?
Oh yes, totally, totally. Like and while actually teaching, I was not sure about it, to be honest. And shout out to Charlene, SharmaFX. Always been in contact with her, and when she launched her course, I actually texted her. I was like, "You sure about it?" Because I mean, we were all with in Raja's course, right? And
Right.
it's like I didn't want to start any drama and blah blah blah. But I had a lot of requests at that time. I was like, I don't know, I kind of don't want to do it. But she's like, "Yeah, you should do it. You should do it because." If people want to learn from you, they'll go for you.
Right.
I'm sure there's some listener out there that's going to be, yeah, I remember at school. This is one of my example. Okay, at school, I remember I was about to fail math class. Okay, that teacher, I was not getting anything. I was really bad. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna fail. I'm gonna fail. Thank God that woman went on pregnancy relief. Is that no pregnancy? How do you
Maternity
call it?
leave.
Yeah, here we go. Thank
Yeah.
you. And we had teacher that came to take her place for the last couple months of the year. Oh, it changed. It changed everything. I was like, it clicked. It finally clicked. I was like, oh, that's what she was saying. Okay. Okay. And I started to apply it. And then thank God I actually passed that that class. But this is the perfect example that, I mean, you can have the same thing teach by five different people, and you will not understand the same way.
Right.
So this was one of the other reason why I wanted to do it, because to give more options to people,
Right.
and I think the best thing about teaching for me, but probably not the best thing, but one of the thing that I really like, it actually forced me to understand more and apply my rules more, because I was actually out there live streaming in front of people, zooming with my students, so I cannot fuck it up.
Right.
Right. I gotta do my thing,
Right.
So I think that was actually pretty good for that, because it forced me to respect those rules like to the T. And when I didn't, my student was the first one to say, "Hey, Sacha, you didn't follow your rules." Like, oh, God damn it. Yeah. So it actually forced you. So I think it was actually a good thing for me. And to come back on the point you said about learning different stuff, it's cool because sometimes, students going to come up and it's going to say something about, and you'd be like, huh, I didn't saw that like this, like, great, good catch, bud.
Right.
So yeah, and yeah, that's amazing. That part, I really like that part. So yes, it happened to me like every day.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think that was like one part that I wasn't ready for when I started like SharmaFX too, right? It kind of started off the same way as yours, like where people started asking. I was like on Paul's stream, and that's where the requests kind of started coming in from. But that's what I find like interesting too. When you start like new ventures, you think that, it's going to be one way. And that's how it is for trading for a lot of people too, right? They see like exactly Instagram, and then they see like how people are portraying, trading and lifestyle associated to it. And then it comes like this entire cycle of like, well, it's not really all that glamorous that I thought it would be, right? And then that's when like kind of secrets of trading is pretty much that's what it's about. Where what were some of the things that you learned along, your journey that you wish someone had told you before you started?
Okay, that's a good one. There's a lot of things. Like, first of all, I mean, if someone would have tell me that it would be the hardest thing I would ever do, I don't know. I probably would have taught it twice, you know.
Right.
I'm still gonna do it, but it'll be like, okay, because this is really hard. So anyone that think that this is like an overnight process, let me tell you, this is none of those one of those like get rich quick thing. It's not. It is not. I did door to door, I did MLM, I did businesses, I did all kind of stuff. This is the hardest thing I ever had to do. You know, I mean, psychologically, this is the thing I would love for someone to tell me at first, you know, that you need to work on your psychology first before learning the technicals, you know. So you got to be mentally ready, I think. So that's one thing. On my end, I was pretty good because like money wise, like I had the luxury, if I can say, to be good and starting with a pretty decent account. But there's a lot of people trying to rush the process because they need the money now. So for all of those people that wants to trade because they want to make money tomorrow, I would say do not trade. You know, do not trade. Take your time, learn the process, put yourself in a good environment. Because I mean, if you're not in a good environment right now, I'm telling you, you're just going to be losing your money. I don't want to be like the negative guy out there, but I'm just being truthful, right? So, I mean, I just want to say the truth out there because it's the reality. If you don't put yourself in a good environment, you're not going to be successful. I mean, and when I say a good environment, I'm talking relationship wise, money wise, family wise, you know, everything has to be in sync, you know, because if not, it's already hard. It's going to be like harder. It's going to be harder. So yeah, the psychology part, I think that would be like one of the main thing that I would love to learn a little bit more about it when I got started, instead of like jumping into the technicals right away. But yeah, and the other thing is, do not believe everything you see out there. You know, I mean, there's a lot of BS, lots of BS. You know, when you see someone just posting wins, let me tell you, it's not happening. You know, they got losses. You know, they got losses. So one of the thing is, when I got started, I was seeing all those people winning, and I was like, damn, I was winning, losing, winning, losing. I was like, how do you do that? You know, just like I was freaking out. I was like, I sucked at this. You know, I was telling myself, I'm not good at this. I need to find something else because everybody else is winning, right?
I think that's one of the things that a lot of people say as well. Like when I talk to them, same thing where it's like, you know, there's a lot of wins that they see, but there's very few people who also show their losses. And then, you know, it was, well, for me, it's the same thing, right? You have the wins, you have the losses, but I've gotten to the point where it's like, I analyze like the losses and I'm like, okay, well then why did it happen? And a lot of times, you know, 90% of the time it's like, well, I took a setup because I thought price was going to go a certain direction. I have my like conditions listed out. And then it was like some part of it was like convincing yourself, well, like I'm looking for, you know, 3 candle break and retest kind of a thing, right? Or if I need an impulse entry, then how do I take it? Those kind of things. And then being comfortable with like, well, if I didn't see exactly what I'm looking for, instead of 3 candles, if it was like 4 candles, yeah, it could work out. But then my entry would have to be kind of different too. So then kind of setting out on some of those opportunities. So a lot of it's like a kind of a joke in our group from like some of the students where it's like there's a lot of no trade days, but that's also what kind of saves them from like the losses as well. So absolutely. What was like that kind of leads me into the question I want to ask you, where it was like, when did you, well, first of all, what were like some of the things that you did that kind of helped you get ready psychologically for this, you know, market and for trading? And then from there, like, how long did it take you, if you are at all comfortable with like no trade days, or like, how did you kind of figure out like whether it's going to be a trade day for you or not?
Yeah. Okay. So what made me ready psychologically is I think I accepted that I need to lose to be able to win, right? And the main thing I had to focus was getting my losses smaller than my winner. So I think this was a big thing because I mean, I always 1-to-1, you know, it's just like, so when you lose one, I mean, you got to win 2 after that to be on top, right? So it's like, damn it. So I think that was one of the main thing. before I was always, when I got started scalping, I was always aiming for 10 pips, 10 pips, 10 pips, 10 pips. I think that got me ready psychologically because it was a small goal and I got wins, because it was easy. I want to say easy, but simple to grab 10 pips out of the market, right? So I think that was really good in my process because it helped me build that confidence. It helped me build that confidence. For many months in a row, I was like 10 pips, 10 pips, 10 pips, 10 pips. Even if I lost some, I was winning a lot. My win ratio was super high. So that built up that confidence. And after that, I switched to 15 to 20, and that made a huge difference, because at the end I was like risking 10. Now I was winning 15 or 20. I mean, now we're talking,
Right.
now we're talking. So I think, yeah, that really helped me, building that confidence, because I think confidence is a big part of the psychological thing, if you want to say. Yeah, I would say that was that, and a lot of personal growth. Doing MLM, I've been doing so much personal growth, and I kind of stopped for like a couple years, put that on pause, and said, you know what? I need to get back at this, And it's funny because we had a podcast with Stefanos. We did a Forex talk over beer with Stefanos, and we actually jumped into that subject, and we're giving books for people to read, and but yeah, I think personal growth is undervalued, underrated, I should say. People should jump on that. Just listen to that in your car if you don't want to read it. But yeah, personal growth, definitely. There's a lot of speakers out there that you can read books or podcasts, or there's also my favorite one. If you guys want to know, his name is called Jim Rohn. And Jim Rohn is the best of the best. He's the mentors of the Tony Robbins and everyone else.
Wow.
Everyone else is, kind of not copying, but duplicating what he did back then. He actually passed away like a couple of years ago, but he's the best. And there's actually a playlist on Spotify you can learn. It's called Jim Rohn Smooth Mix, and you actually listen to personal growth, but you have beats behind. So you can be bouncing in your car, and you're like, yeah, and you got some personal growth going in your mind, which is amazing. So I think personal growth and the confidence boost was the main thing that helped me go through that journey.
And then what about like are you comfortable still? Like, how did you kind of, if you are, come to this comfort level of like no trade days? And like, how did you figure out like, okay, this is normal? Because a lot of times we see, the portrayal of like traders out there is sitting in front of charts, taking trades. If you're not taking trades, you're not a trader.
Yeah,
right?
well, definitely. And that's funny because that's a discussion we had with Alex back a couple of days ago. And but yeah, I mean, no trade day was really hard for me, especially being a scalper. I mean, you're always trying to find that move, right? Somewhere on that chart, you're gonna try to find that move. So to be honest, I didn't have a lot of no trade days. Yes, I did have some, and you kind of feel exactly like you say, you don't feel like, because you used to, when you work for something or for a job or for, you punch in, you punch out, or you do that many hours, you're getting paid for, and now you're sitting in front of that chart and being no trades, like if you're not working. So it's here that it needs to change, right? You need to be okay with no trading. So now I'm totally okay with no trading, like since, should say, like a year and a half, 2 years, at least. But before that, I was always trying to still, push for a quick trade, like even 5 pips, I was trying to get it, but it was not good. But yeah, now I'm totally okay with no trade day. But it's I can see why people are having a hard time doing a no trade day, because you feel like you're not working and you're not going to be paid. So, I mean, you want to work, you want to be paid. So you're trying to find that trade out there, right? So, and especially that I was only trading one pair, I was only trading GJ. Sometimes it was hard. Like I was like squeezing that trade, like for no reason. I was forcing that trade. I was like, oh my God, that was so dumb, man. And after that, you walk off the office and you'd be like, this was dumb. I needed that trade and now I got a loss. Sweet.
Right.
Good job, Sacha. So yeah. So now I'm totally okay though. And especially now that I'm kind of not switching completely, but now I'm implementing like swing trading into my stuff. And that is totally different. I mean, oh my gosh, that's totally different. I mean, if you gotta wait sometimes like a couple of days before you set them to show up. So wow, I'm not used to that. But it's actually good for my personality. It's funny because for many years I said I will never swing trade because I'm not good at it and I'm too impatient.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny how everything changed sometimes. It's just like now I want to swing trade because I want to spend less time on the chart.
Right.
I'm trying to walk away and trying to find setup that can, I love like Alex Brandon's called set and forget, just like you set your trading, you forget about it and you walk away, right? So
right.
I'm in love with that concept. I'm in love with that concept because I got a lot of things going on in my life. And I love the fact that I can set up this trade and just walk away and, forget about it.
I think changes your life, honestly, like being able to successfully swing trade. And then that's pretty much like, what I did. And then I was like, coming back to like always investing yourself, always like, learning and trying to get better, even in this industry, is like, all right, well, then how do I take a scalp that could turn into a swing trade? Right. So that's what like I've been doing for like the past year. But that thing definitely does like, change your account, but it also changes your life because now you have so much free time and you don't have to sit out the charts like every single day trying to figure like, am I going to get a trade today? Am I going to get a trade today? Right. And then you kind of come to this realization of instead of just taking quantity of trades, the quality is what actually matters. So if I don't see, a trade, then I'd rather miss out on, let's say like 10, 15 pips if I see that the market is setting for like 80 or 100 pips. Right. And that's kind of what is the hardest part to click. But once it does, it changes everything.
Oh yeah. Like I was so excited. Like a couple of days ago, I had my biggest percentage wise trade. And I was like, oh my God, like how come I didn't do that before?
Right.
I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I
Right.
had to wait 2 days for that, but that was worth it,
Right.
I had to wait 2 days for the setup to show up and boom, 7.16%. I was like, holy crap.
Yeah.
It was like, that's amazing. I mean, you basically need one trade like this,
Right.
and you're chilling,
Absolutely. Absolutely. And if you get like 2 or 3 of those, then it's even better. Right.
Ooh, let's party hard.
Yes. And then last question that I'll ask you, thank you so much for your time, was like coming back to the MLM. So we know like how, and that's why I saved this because I want to ask you as soon as you mentioned it, but I saved it for the last, is there's a perception of MLM out there, right? But you're talking about like how you were part of it. There are a lot of things that you learned, right? A lot of people don't have great experiences, even if they're like, out there teaching and stuff. So what was kind of your experience like? And it sounds like you had a good experience so far. And what were some of the things that you learned from there that you were able to apply in like the rest of the areas of your life to become successful?
Yeah. To be honest, I will highly recommend anyone to try MLM, and the reason why is because you're going to learn so much. You're going to learn so much about yourself. You're going to learn so much about personal growth. Because they're going to implement that in your lifestyle, right? So, and the reality is I will not be where I am today if I wouldn't do MLM. Because it put me in a position that I met some amazing people, met some business people. I gained confidence. I was able to step on the stage, train people. I had like over like 10,000 of people in my group. And this was an amazing experience. And for everyone that did it with us, some of them didn't do money, some of them actually lost money, but they said it was one of my best experience because they learned so much, right? But of course, you got to be careful because there's some shitty company out there. There's some scam out there, but there's some real one also, and the real one out there, just do your own research. If there's some listener out there who wants to know about that, hit me up.
Yeah.
I'm still really, I'm still really into it because I know what's going on around it because I got many of my friends still in MLM. I'm actually looking at a project right now that's going to be mixing probably Forex and MLM. So we'll see how it goes. But long story short, it is a good experience because you can learn so much. You can learn so much about yourself, confidence, And actually, this is a good way to actually leverage money to put in your trading account. You know, I mean, one of the company I did a couple of years ago, I mean, after 4 months, I mean, I did over 40K. You know, I mean, I can take the money, put it in the trading account, and, you know, let's go trade it. You know,
Right.
which job will allow you to do that? There's none. There's
Right.
no job you can do that's going to allow you to make the money you can make into MLM. But of course, you got to be careful, choose the right one. You need a real product, a solid product, a solid comp plan. But yeah, I mean, for me, it was a great experience. It was a great experience. I did many companies, but yeah, so far, I mean, always been good. I'm still, you know, there's one company I'm not building any MLM as we speak. But there's one I'm still a customer of it. You know, I'm still a customer of it because the product are amazing, you know. But yeah, there's a bad perception out there. There's a bad perception out there because people think that MLM is a scam or is a pyramid thing, you know, just like it's not. You know, you can make more money than the person that actually recruited you. You know, my brother recruited me at first, you know, and let me tell you, I made so much more money than him, you know, so that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. So it just depends on what you gonna do about it, what you gonna do, you know. And of course, you know, in trading, we all know about IML, and you know, there's actually another one called B Fusion. I can't remember what it was, but yeah, those one, not a big fan, because the reality is they charging like $200 or $300 per month for people to be learning on a shitty platform. And sorry for the word, sorry for everyone in IML. I do apologize, but that's the reality. But yeah, they're charging like X amount of money per month. When you can go see get a mentorship for like, I don't know, 500, 1,000, 2,000, you know, one-time payment, and you have someone that actually trade with you. So for me, that concept, I don't really like it. I don't think it's sustainable long term. But yeah, there's many out there that's really, really good, you know. So yeah, that's my 2 cents about MLM.
Yeah, that's a fresh take, because when we talk to other people, again, there's like a perception of it out there. I got out of what is now IML. I got out of that very early on, before this started shifting towards, or heavily like the marketing aspect of it. But that was what my experience was, because it was all like education, and that's what like I was there for. And then once that shift happened, or at least I saw it happening, that's when I was like, all right, I'm out, right? So again, for me, it was like, if something aligns with the mission or my values or whatever, that's what I'm there for. Once, you know, there's this divergence, then I'm kind of out. But thank you so much for hopping on with us, Sacha. I really appreciate that. If anyone has any questions, where can they reach you?
Directly on Instagram, Sacha_FXDawgz. Watch out for the fake account. I only have one account, so yeah, so be careful with that. Or on YouTube, my channel name is called Trade with the Pack. We do live stream on Tuesday morning, 6:30 a.m. And I do Forex Talk over beer on Friday night at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, which is a cool spot to hang out on a Friday night. Grab a beer, come chill with me, and we'll break down some charts. That's it. Awesome. Thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate it. You're all awesome. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Sacha.
Have a good day.